Welcome back to another episode of 5 Songs That Made Me a Better Guitarist. We've got Spencer Askin, Shreducation Nation with us today. Let's do it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. How do they do that for so long? Oh my God.
I have no idea. And there was no CrossFit back then. I guess that's why.
Right.
You didn't need it. You were just doing that.
Jeez.
One very buff arm.
What's the trick to not having your hand and your arm just like fall off after one song? So, you know?
First off, it's really hard. It's all in the wrist. It's this like flick motion. You want it really loose.
Well, that's how it doesn't hurt, is if you keep it loose.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. As soon as you put tension in, that's when you're gonna start to get tired. Like, yeah, I haven't done that many downstrokes in a row probably since I was 12. Because who would ever do that? That's like not ideal guitar technique. Sorry, Ramones guys. I remember being in in-school suspension, reading Dee Dee Ramone's autobiography. I was like, this is amazing. They're so loud, they're like just trashy, but the melody is like Motown girl groups. As soon as Dee Dee yells 1, 2, 3, 4, which she does before every song live, you're in for some shit. And it's the truth. Yeah. And every live song is like 4 times faster than the record. And the guitar player, Johnny, is just pissed.
Oh, really?
And they're just like, and he's like super mean to all of them. And he takes it super seriously. But it's like, dude, they're the Ramones. These are like cartoon characters. The reason that I picked this song is like, there's a moment in any beginning guitar student's life where they come in and they start learning guitar. And they'll learn their songs for their performance. And that's great. They show up for rehearsal, whatever. But as soon as they decide, I'm gonna learn stuff on my own, or they come back and they're like, hey, I learned these songs for my performance, or I did my homework. I also learned this because I was interested in it. That's like, okay, this kid's gonna be really good. They're now really invested on their own, and this, thinking back to it, like this was what made me like buy it. Yeah, totally.
Right. That's amazing to identify the spark.
When you're young and you can do something that you're like, I can actually play this.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, and you pick up a guitar and you're like, dang, I kind of sound like them. Well, rad, my favorite bands sound like that. Maybe I can be in one of my favorite bands someday.
Right. All right, so let's get into this next one here. Let's just get right into it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, dude.
When I think about what an electric guitar into a tube amp should sound like, this is the song. And then, going into the chorus, it's even bigger, so. This is a little clean, and when he's playing louder, that's why a tube amp is cool.
Why did this song make the list?
All of Elliot Easton's solos, as far as I'm concerned, are like just what the song wants and never more. In the solo, so much of it is just how you're bending. And making sure to hit that, just the one extra note that's not diatonic to E. And then also he has throughout the song like the
I love that.
The little like chicken
thing.
picking stuff. I think that Elliot Easton is the best left-handed guitarist of all time.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other ones.
Yeah, I mean, Hendrix, but whatever.
You tell me.
Sorry.
That's a little humor joke, Karl.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, cut that. Don't keep. One thing about singing and playing, I'm curious, like, how you break things down. Like, because you sing in your band, right?
Yeah. The chords, like the guitar part, rhythmically has to be in the background. If I think about the guitar at all, it completely derails.
Okay.
You know what
it's
I
just
mean?
muscle memory and then adding a layer.
Yeah, like you can think
Okay.
about the vocals. I have to be
right.
thinking about the vocals. Y'all like you never seen a white person before. Jaws all on the floor like Pam and Tommy just burst in the door. Started whooping her ass worse than before. They first were divorced, throwing over furniture. It's a return to the oh wait. Like that's really hard.
Yeah.
You know? The guitar has to be muscle memory. Like, and that's why I'm always really big on this kind of thing.
Right.
So I never have to think about the rhythm because I'm watching you do this where it's like, which sounds better. Like that sounds like the song. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I was gonna do it and I had to do a vocal that was difficult, I would go like, because I wouldn't be able to have the bandwidth to go, even though that sounds more like the record. It's like triage of what is the most important thing for this task at this moment.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay, so where do you want to start with this?
Yeah, okay, so it was really hard to pick 5 songs that made me a better guitar player, but this is the very first guitar solo that I've ever learned. Carl, you probably really identify with this song.
Why is that?
Well, the song's called 18 in Life, and you're a career criminal. Anyway, this one's by Skid Row.
All right, here we go. 2, 3, 4.
We've graduated onto a little bit of hair metal. I would watch Saturday Night Live reruns on Comedy Central all the time as like a 12 and 13-year-old. There was one episode that had Skid Row as a musical guest. They played Monkey Business. And I was just like, yeah, dude, this?
Yeah.
At 13, you know, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
12 and a half, maybe, you know, like a few months removed from Ramones tabs.
Yeah.
It was like, this is cool, dude. Everybody's like stomping around with like, you know, giant hair.
Have you analyzed this solo from like, okay.
Yeah, so there's actually a couple cool things happening in this solo and things that as I went back and looked at it that I was doing wrong for my whole life. This is like goofy and insignificant, but you hear that all the time. You rarely ever hear this.
Oh.
And then you got like a rake in there. And then this I always play it as, but it's really, and if you listen to him, you can hear that articulation. This like pentatonic thing.
Wait, was that the 3-2 system?
You know what? Dude, it actually totally was.
All right, for those of you that don't know, Spencer has a course with us on pickup called the 3-2 system. This was totally not planned. This is not product placement. This is totally organic. But that is literally 3-2, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It completely is.
Yeah.
I've been doing it wrong, and then the real way is
It was
the
actually
3-2.
3-2?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you
100%. Yeah, anyway, and then
Yeah. From my angle, it's crazy how much you're not picking, actually.
yeah, a lot of those are pull-offs.
Is that just intuitive, or did you actually really think about each one of those notes?
probably intuitive at this point? But if
it's
you were
intuitive
like,
now, but maybe when you were really breaking it down, you really thought
yeah,
through,
because
like,
because he's doing it a certain way. But if you're like, hey, can you pick all of those notes? The music that I play and like listen to is like so far from this.
Yeah,
But this is like how I learned to play guitar.
All right, so this next one, Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid.
So what I thought that we could do, you know, I could tell you all about this, Carl, but I would rather show you. And what I thought might be fun today is find out how you would fare like one of my students would fare.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna have to read music right now?
As much as a guitar player might, you know?
All right, well, humble me. Let's
Well,
do it.
you may not. We're gonna find out.
All right, let's just switch out this table real quick. All right, so we're back. We have our music stand. They still make these, I hear. What do you want me to do here?
To try and get through these chords would be ideal.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
A few moments later.
Nice, dude.
Okay.
Very nice.
This is an amazing song. Wow.
Yeah.
Walk us through. Why did you choose this one?
First off, it's a great tune. Alan Menken, one of the greatest writers, maybe of all time. So I was teaching music, and I had a bunch of young students come in that didn't really know bands or songs. All they were familiar with was really early Taylor Swift and Disney songs.
Which I
right?
can attest to, that's pretty much all my daughter wants to listen to. So
Just Disney stuff. So I bought this Disney fake book. It came, I was all excited. It's like, okay, these lessons are gonna be better. My students are gonna be stoked. I open it up, it's all just like slash chords, dominant chords with a bunch of extensions. Yeah, it's just like really advanced.
Yeah.
I ended up using it only for like high school aged, like seniors, like preparing for college auditions.
Okay.
And that was pretty much it. So
Yeah.
it became a great tool for that because it's like, oh, these are songs that I'm familiar with. I didn't realize there was like so much under the hood. So the way that it's made me better specifically is that as I'm teaching these, because I need to keep the student on track in the measures, I would need to play part of the chord and then play the melody too, or at least play the bass note and play
Yeah.
the melody. So not full chord melody stuff, but at least be able to play the bass note and read a melody.
Right.
And then I've used that a lot for like writing songs for my band.
Okay, so last but not least, we have Charlie Christian's solo on Solo Flight.
Yes.
There's some tabs here. You're going to kind of...
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You sue me, guys.
Nice. Okay, so walk us through this choice.
So I did jazz in college, which is why I picked this guitar to play this on. Hearing Charlie Christian was the first jazz guitar player that really spoke to me, and he's still my favorite. He's improvising, but these are memorable melodies. Based on my other choices, you may have gathered that I didn't play a lot of jazz before college.
Right.
I didn't know how to read, didn't know how to read chord charts. And so I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get really good at this. You know, that didn't happen. But I definitely had the attitude of like, I'm gonna get really good. I remember my teacher at the time asking him, like, how do you have like jazz architecture in your playing? And he looked at me and was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, you know, your lines are like, they're like up and down and they're like, you know, I'm just like doing this all the time. Like, how do I not do that? But this is like, hey man, this is jazzy architecture.
When you hear Charlie Christian, I mean, he has a very identifiable sound because of the way he plays arpeggios and kind of connects them, and there's some chromaticism in there, but it's very up and down the arpeggio, basically.
Yeah, it's like mostly diatonic and then just some chromatic stuff, and he's like landing on good chord tones, and it sounds good.
Well, let's look
Whatever.
at this lick. I'll play
These
the
are all
chord.
eighth notes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
That's Charlie Christian right there. I mean, you hear just that, you're like,
Totally.
oh, that's his language. What's happening right here? I mean, if you look at that, you're like, oh, it's a D minor 7 chord, but it starts in C sharp. Why do you think it works?
Yeah, because it's like where you're coming from and where you're going to.
This is kind of like a G7 right here.
Yeah.
So even though this says D minor 7, he's playing a G7 arpeggio up to the 13.
Like a G13. I mean, you can look at it either way. You could call it a D minor 6. You know, with the architecture.
Yeah.
Like that's,
Yeah.
it's this with a little bit of chromaticism, and you're ending on, you know, you're highlighting chord tones, but then you have like nice extensions. Totally unlike, obviously, Elliot Easton and Snake Sabo from Skid Row.
Right, yeah.
And Johnny Ramone is also not playing this.
Well, I mean, this has been a wild ride. You picked quite a diverse cast of characters here for us. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your musicality.
Hey, thanks, man.
And your humor and everything that you bring to the guitar community. So, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks so much for having me, man. I had a blast as always.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Be sure to check out Spencer's course at Pickup Music, the 3-2 system. Let us know who we should get next on the couch, and also let us know what are your top 5 picks. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.